welcome to the Get It Gaming Plus podcast. I'm Alex,
I'm Ben.
and we are your bi-weekly podcast. I can't say bi-weekly podcast, where we talk about just anything we want to talk about, whether that's video games, movies, TV, anime, stuff. We like stuff here. If you like stuff, you should go check us out on youtube.com/getitgaming, where you can find our video podcasts, as well as our reviews. So you can definitely find those there. If you don't want to look at our faces, you don't want to support YouTube for some weird reason, that's your prerogative. You can do that. You can go over to Spotify and just listen to the audio. Although supposedly, I don't know if we've talked about this at all, even in private, Ben, but like supposedly we could just upload the videos to Spotify too.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's a brand new thing. We should start doing that just to, you know, expand ourselves. And anyone listening, we are still trying to get to like 200 followers on Spotify that will automatically download your episode. We're slowly moving up the ladder, but we would love to get 200.
We are, and also, we would like to say adieu to all of you because this is our last normally recorded episode before we start holiday episodes. So remember, please remember, if there's any important news that happens, anything that you normally think that we would talk about, we can't because we've already recorded everything. And there's no physical way for us to record anything, especially like in those months that we're taking break, just because of just location and technology available and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, sorry if there is something really big, like if there is like a Switch 2 announcement or something like that, too bad. We'll just talk about it next year, and
Yeah.
you'll have to see it then. But or if it happens like really soon, maybe we can squeeze something in. But yeah, so get ready for those holiday episodes. There's gonna be some really cool ones. I mean, there's always really good episodes in there, but we're excited about one of them, and hopefully you all enjoy it. So
Yeah, it's always nice to take a break. Alex and I, we have this year, we've never missed an episode launching. We've had a late episode, but we've not recorded for something. So it's nice to get these episodes out so we could take a break. Um,
definitely,
we love doing this, but we also like taking time off. So
yes, we do. Yes, we do. So today's episode is a special episode where we have nothing to talk about. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a Adult Swim shows ranking. This is a list created by our very own Ben over here. And so with that, we will use the ranking websites, and we will also show in the future, like we'll show like, oh yeah, what we did and why we did it and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get ready for that. Let me go ahead.
now, before anyone gets on me about the list, what I did is this is not every single show. This excludes anime. Alex and I actually talked about it. We'll probably just do one about anime that was shown on there. A lot of the anime that I first watched for the first time was on there. So we'll probably do like a Toonami one. But these are just shows. I picked like a good amount of shows that I remember that I thought Alex might remember. This is not every show that's been on there, just so everyone knows. Don't
Yeah.
come at me in comments. Don't come at me in comments.
They already are.
Probably. Probably. Especially when they see some of the grades of some of these. Yeah, there's some on here that I'm probably gonna give an F to. So
Don't worry, we'll counteract each other. You're gonna be like, "Oh man, this is so amazing," and then I'm gonna give it an F or a D. I guess is the lowest one we have here. Okay, are you ready?
I am ready. I can't see on yours. Do you have an F on there too, or no?
No, there's just a D.
Oh, okay. There's an
S
F on
A
mine.
B S A B C D. That's all I have here from this.
You might want to add an F
Do
because
you
there's
think we
gonna be
need an
some,
F?
yeah, there's gonna be some Fs on here.
How do I
At least one that I'm looking at right now.
how to row
So
below? Okay, hang on.
the everyone everyone that listens is gonna be angry. This is the one I'm worried about. I'm worried about this one.
Oh, I can't even see. Why would you even make? Why would you even make black a color if you can't even see the text for it?
That is kind of weird. Don't give it a pretty color because it definitely is. F is like for failure. Okay, we keep it gray. That's fine.
All right. How many of these are gonna go in the F? Let's see. All right, our first one here is Mr. Pickles.
I like Mr. Pickles. Only there's two things the reason I like Mr. Pickles. First off, he's a satanic dog who's actually the devil, and the sheriff is hilarious. I don't know what it is. And Grandpa is always trying to like bust him out, like that dog's a devil. Although there were episodes where he saves Grandpa, so I see you hovering over C. I would think that's a fair C. Oh wow, we're hovering over D now.
I think it might. I'm looking at the other things. Honestly, I wasn't really paying attention to where this is being held right now. I don't really
Okay.
like the show. I hate the art style. I
I
think
get that.
if the art style wasn't as crude as it is, and like just gross as it is, I think it'd probably be a C. I think it's more of a D.
Yeah, I like watching it, but I think I just had it on just for background noise. It wasn't one that was like, oh, I gotta watch this. You know what I mean? Like I kept it all on as background noises. So
Yeah. So I'm looking on your list here that you have. I think you're missing something important.
what's that?
I think you're missing Lucy.
Yeah, so I did not put Lucy, Daughter of the Devil on here. Um, it was one that was on the list, but after I created it, I was like, oh crap. Um, so yeah, Lucy,
Okay.
Daughter of the Devil is not on this list.
Okay, it's not a complete list then, because I would have put Lucy Dollar Devil probably in B or A, but because I think it's genius. All right, next one we got Black Jesus.
That is definitely a D. Uh,
Who plays him?
being, I don't know who plays him, but like, I did not like that show at all. We have to look this up. Who plays him?
I'm
I did
looking
not
up
like
right
the
now.
show. Wasn't Johnny Witherspoon in that show? I think that's one of the last things he did. I could have sworn he was in there. Johnny Witherspoon's could not save the
Well,
show.
I mean, the creator, yeah, Aaron McGruder, or McGruder or whatever, the creator of Boondocks. It was him and the creator of Trailer Park Boys made the show.
What?
Yeah.
Those are two of my favorite shows. I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, John Witherspoon. Yeah, he's in this.
So I just didn't like it. Now I got to go back and watch it because I have watched the seasons of Trailer Park Boys like 12 times. I'm not even kidding. I love Trailer Park Boys. I've been trying to get Alex to watch it, and he's like, I'm not watching it. You would love it, Alex. It's just stupidity. But yeah, I still think the show is a D. I get the premise of the show. I just didn't think it was that funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. So yeah, we can leave it at that. Next we got Check It Out, Steve Brule.
What are your thoughts on this? Because I've already given two thoughts on them. You're probably not gonna like mine, but
I don't think it's the greatest thing ever, but I think John C. Riley is hilarious.
yes.
Just as awkwardness. So like I think it's probably I think episodes can be as high as an S, but as low as a B. So
I'll agree with you.
so I think
I'll
it's
agree.
more of a B.
For your health.
Yeah.
My favorite episode when he has the wine episode. So basically it's done by this show was done by Tim and Eric, who is the first ever um husband and wife newscast. And there's an episode where Steve Brule is testing wine and he's like, I'm supposed to spit it out. But why would I do that? He's like, for your wine. And he gets really drunk and he runs through the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good. I agree with you though. I feel like it's funny. It has its funny moments, but then it has its super cringy moments.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this for this next one. China, Illinois. I love China, Illinois. I think this is one of the most brilliant things ever. I used to watch that old YouTube thing, Washington, Washington.
oh yeah.
That was them. I love all these characters. I love Babyface. I love like this. The show's stupid, but it's also very clever. There's that one episode where like God appears and he's like a Beach Boy fan or whatever. He's just like a very like chilled out like guy, and the professor hates the Beach Boys, and then he realizes he's like, I have to like the Beach Boys now in order to get in heaven or something like that. I personally think that this show is probably an A for me. I don't know your opinions though.
I want to say a B. So I liked the show. I would watch it when it's on, but it wasn't like one of my favorite shows. Like I get the premise. And I'm going to say a lot of these shows were like really smart of what they did. Um, and I've got looking at the list here, there's a couple of these that are like some of my favorite shows. So, excuse me, I'm really waiting on some of those. But it wasn't an awful show. I think it's like really well written.
Mm. Okay, so I don't remember this next one. I don't know what Decker is.
Just put it in F. It was awful.
Trust
So
you.
basically, so it was Tim Heidecker and Sword Decker, and basically he was a super agent, and it's done with half the people from Tim and Eric. Awesome show, great job were in it.
Mm-hmm.
It just was awful. It was awful. And I tried to watch it, and I was like, God, this show is just trash. This is the time where they get putting these live action things on, and you're like, okay, so we're just gonna keep putting things on there that just because it's by so and so.
Okay.
Sorry if you love the show. I've watched all the episodes, and I'm like, this is not funny.
Delocated.
What are your thoughts on Delocated? Because I have my own personal thoughts.
It probably deserves to be in D. I don't think it's great, but I think the premise alone is pretty funny. Just like he always just has like the mask over his face because he's trying to like hide his identity, but like you clearly just know who he is. I don't know. Like it's I also think it takes itself too seriously, and I think that to its detriment. So like that's why I think it's kind of more of a D.
Yeah, I agree with you. It had its funny moments. Like I thought it was like funny, but it wasn't like great.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is around the time where they were doing these live action shows like this that were like 15 minutes long. 15, 20, maybe that was 30. I don't remember, but it was okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what this next thing is.
I vaguely remember it.
What is it called?
So it's called, I think it's called like Fat Guy on the Internet.
Oh yeah, Fat Guy Stuck in the Internet.
I don't remember it at all.
I'm looking at it.
I might have to look it up.
2008. All came out in 2008.
Yeah, this is another one of those ones with the green screen behind it. It was okay. I don't remember it very well, but
I vaguely remember this. Yeah, I don't know where to put it.
I mean, I guess we can put it. Maybe we put it in F because we don't really remember it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it.
I could do this too. Hang on. God, I hate this.
Oh, you're gonna add one never seen before? I think
Yeah.
that's fair. I don't remember it at all. Dang, I got Steve Brule in there twice too. Sorry, man.
Check it out. Oh
I
no.
guess we could add that one to never seen.
Okay. F. Okay. We'll put that there. I also accidentally changed the color to that. Put that there. And we'll put that back to gray. Okay. All right. Dark Place.
Oh, that's hard because Matt Berry's in there, and I love Matt Berry because he's on probably the thing that I text most to Alex. For a while, I was texting it all the time because he's on this great show called What We Do in the Shadows. What are your thoughts on it?
It's weird. It's really weird, right? Like this
It's super
is
weird.
I think his other stuff or other stuff in this realm is a lot better than Dark Place. And I think like Dark Place because Dark Place is the one that takes place in the hospital as well, right?
Yes.
We have a better hospital show here in a second. So like I think this deserves to be in D, to be honest.
No, I agree with you. I tried. I love Matt Berry, and when I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's some people here from Mighty Boosh, right? And I just couldn't get into it. I just didn't like it. It just felt overly acted. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean that's kind of the point because it's supposed to be like a soap opera ish type
Yeah.
thing. But then also have like weird supernatural elements to it. And it's like, are you watching a show or are you watching something that Satan made? Maybe both.
It could be both.
Yeah. So next one is Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Excuse me. I think this is S tier.
Nope, agree with you. I was worried. That was what I was worried on because that show's so well done. Stephen Colbert was in that show. That is one of my favorite. Now the Bird Girl one I didn't like, but and I didn't even
Is
have
that on
to-
this list? Okay.
Heck no, I didn't put it on here.
All right.
It didn't deserve.
I watched
to be on
2
the-
episodes of Bird Girl and I hated it.
You told me that, and I'm like, well, let me give it a chance. I watched one, and I was like, nope, don't like it.
It's just not the same at all.
No, but the characters in this are great. Obviously you could tell it's being done by comedians because it's just so funny. And some of the courtroom things are hilarious, like old cartoons that you maybe had watched on reruns and stuff.
Mhm.
They bring them into the courtroom setting because they're in trouble,
Like
which is
like
hilarious.
Scooby Doo or whatever is one of the notable ones where like
Yeah,
they're caught with weed.
yeah,
It's
it's so good.
yeah.
I'm so glad you said S because I was like, man, we're gonna have to have an argument on this one because I was
Yeah.
like, it's so good.
Yeah, now I own this whole show on DVD. So, and I
That's
love
a
the
hard one to
DVD
get.
boxes because they look like old like law books or whatever, like library books.
You can't see it back there, but I own that game on Wii, which is basically just the show.
I own it on Wii as well, except mine doesn't have a case.
Mine's a CIB.
Ooh, fancy! Look at you.
I know, right?
I don't think Stephen Colbert is in the game though. I don't think he's in it
I don't know. I know he was on the show.
because he's
As one of the characters.
he's a Reducto, if I remember correctly. He might be. Is he Mentok as well?
I think he's Mentok as well.
Okay, because I think he might only be Reducto in the game. If I remember.
I love Mentok, by the way.
Yeah, Mentok the Mind Taker. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, every time. So good.
So good, yeah. Next one we have here is General Hospital. This one has the Fonz in it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't really watch this one, so this might be what I remember it. I tried watching some of the shows. It was another like dramatic one or whatever. So you may need to. I'll let you put this one
So
Children's Hospital,
Children's
right?
Hospital, yeah. So this is one that's like, yeah, like General Hospital. It's like Dark Place. The main difference is that this is American, and so it's less super creepy and more just awkward funny. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the Fonz is in it as like the main guy, or like one of like the main guys there. I remember really enjoying this, and also I think this might have been the last show or project to be recorded in that studio hospital where Scrubs was filmed right before it was destroyed.
Really? Hmm.
And so that alone, I think, puts it at a C.
I remember it, and I remember like watching it a couple times. I just couldn't get into it. So
Yeah, I think it's better than all of these things here. If we have to move it down to D, we can. But I think it's better than all of these in D so far in F.
no, I agree with you. I totally agree. I don't think it's awful. I just didn't watch enough of it. So if you feel it's a C,
Yeah.
keep it as a C. I'm good with that.
All right. Next one we got. I don't know. Next one we got is Moral Oral.
Oh,
This one's some episodes are genius, but then it gets way too real, and I'm like, I don't like this.
yeah. It's very the one where he. I don't want to go into too much detail, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. The one with the turkey basters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I I think it's funny. It's a hard one because it makes fun of religion and like super religious people. Are you thinking a D? Because I do think it has its funny moments. I would almost say C, but I want to hear what your thoughts might be.
Yeah, I think it's D or C. Like, I think it does its job really well because the whole point of it is like this whole town is very like religious and tries to be religious. And this one kid, Oral, is like super religious and like he follows the Bible, he follows like his pastor, he does all these things, and he follows what his dad tells him to do. But then like over the course of the show, you realize everyone's a horrible person and everyone doesn't follow like the teachings of Christianity or anything. Like there's just so much debauchery and provocativeness like in this town. Um like the dad has really weird things that he's into and does. Like he's an alcoholic as well, and like they go
Oh,
into that later
yeah.
on. Um he is abusive to a degree as well, and like I think he uses if Oral does stuff bad, I'm pretty sure he uses his belt to like obviously like punish more Oral that way. Like yeah, I don't know. Like I think it could be a C, it could be a high D. Like it's the same. It's probably better than all these others in D again. So like I think it could probably go here in C.
I'll agree with you.
It just gets too weird sometimes and too real. Like
Yeah, I forgot the belt stuff because he always gets whipped at the very end, pretty much.
yeah. Are we gonna have an argument?
Okay, the for the listeners and not the watchers, the next one's Squidbillies. I love this show. I don't think it's an S. I don't think it's an A. I put it at a B because the last few seasons were not very good. But picture this. Season 1 opens where they're showing all these weird things in this small hill town, and they show this pumpkin, and this guy turns on his light, and Early Tyler is a squid that lives there, and he's like, "Sir, I was wanting to know if I could ask out your pumpkin." He's like, "Get off my porch." Then Early Tyler throws lit bottles of alcohol in his house, tell him to get out of his house. It is like I'm trying to use my words without I don't want to offend anybody. So I'll just say it's quite hilarious. Uh, but the last couple seasons got really weird and just not as funny. The first couple seasons are great. Um, I don't know, man. I would say because of the last couple seasons, I would say a high C
I would agree with
or
that.
a low B
I would
or like
agree
a
with
low
the
B.
C. I would agree with the
Yeah.
C. I don't think I agree with the B. Yeah, I mean, this isn't really offensive to a degree, I guess what you're gonna say, but this is
Yeah.
very much a haha, rednecks are funny. Like that's what this show is, except they're all turned like it's turned to 11. Like they're way over the top. They're way over like Flanderized and um yeah, clearly like a lot of them just don't have, I don't know. They're not bright at all.
No, they're not bright at all. But a high C, yeah, only because of those first couple episodes. Me thinking about him making out with a pumpkin, trying to ask out the pumpkin, and the guy getting mad because he's on his porch, and he's like, "You get off my porch." He goes, "You get out your house," and sets the guy's house on fire. I laugh every single time I see that. I am laughing on the inside because of that one scene.
I
But
like
like I
the
said,
I like the sheriff.
oh my gosh, he's even funnier. The end seasons get really weird. I'll just say that. It
Yeah,
gets really, really weird.
it does. It is just a weird show in general. Um so yeah, I think high C is more than welcome there. Yeah. Next one we got is Assy McGee. This is awful.
Oh, it's awful. It is just a pile of crap. It's funny because so basically it's just an ass and legs, and he's a detective. But when he talks, the butt moves.
Yeah.
It's just really bad. It's just not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all. No.
Uh, so next one here is on here because we agreed that it should be on here. Futurama's on here because, like, yes, it's a Fox show. Yes, it's a Comedy Central show. Yes, it's a Hulu show now. But a lot of people watched it here. And like, yeah, it just has a lot of touchstones here. Whereas, like, I feel like, yes, a lot of people watch Family Guy on Adult Swim, but like, Family Guy only went to a certain point, and then it started getting new episodes again on other things. Like,
Mhm.
I would argue that, like, I don't know, I don't think Family Guy needs to be on this list. I guess what I'm saying, it's on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah.
So Futurama. If we're going off of what was here at the time, which is the first 4 volumes, which I think are 5 seasons, um, either 5 or 4 seasons technically. Actually, it might be less than that. The last episode is The Devil's Hands Are Idle Plaything. Okay, I think it's an S.
I'll give you that. I think the good thing about this was it's another one of the shows that went to Adult Swim and syndication and was able to get a new season. Family Guy was the same thing. So Family Guy was like, they did 3 seasons. They're like, "Pfft, we're done. And then they sold the rights to Turner. Then Fox goes, wait a second, it's doing really well. We want it back. Um, but I feel like this is another testament to people watching things. I'll give you the S. I think it's a great show. I have not watched any of the new seasons,
I'm actually watching the newest one right now.
but I do think the show's really, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, obviously it's Matt Groening, so definitely Simpson vibes. But it's definitely like got its characters. Like I love Bender, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I definitely would give you the S on that one because I know there's a couple on here that you should maybe give me the S on. So
We'll see.
one particular.
Okay, I think I know what it is. But yeah, Futurama, yeah, is a great show, definitely. Yeah, Matt Groening, and David X. Cohen, I think were the main two with this. And the really cool thing about Futurama is that, like, a lot of the math jokes and things are legit, like, math, like, answers and problems and things, because like a lot of the writers are just nerds. So
Yeah.
I want to say, I don't know if it was this series or like the later seasons, but there's like one episode where they created like a brand new algorithm to, like, how like one, what was it? They accidentally like switch minds or something like that, but you can't switch back to the same body. And so they made an algorithm that made it so or they came up with an algorithm to where everyone could switch back to their original bodies without like messing up or something like that. And so it just, there's a lot of thought and detail put into that show. That and it's hilarious. Yeah, go watch it on Hulu. The new season, not bad, not great, not bad. Let's see. I don't have enough of opinion of Black Dynamite, the animation, to put it anywhere.
So Black Dynamite started off as a film that Michael Jai White did, black exploitation film. So back in the 70s, they had a lot of these Superfly, Rudy Ray Moore did like a couple, Dolomite. These were like films in the 70s that were mostly black. And so this kind of makes fun of like those movies a little bit. Like there's one where, I mean, he literally, so, and in these movies as well, everyone knew martial arts. So that kind of makes fun of Rudy Ray Moore because in Dolomite, okay, so Rudy Ray Moore is this overweight older guy. And so when he would get into fight scenes, it would be the craziest thing because you're like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's really doing, but no one really does. Everyone knew Kung Fu, everybody. So these kind of make fun of it. The movie Black Dynamite makes fun of these films, including a scene where in the movie you see the boom mic a lot come down. Or there's one where he did this take and the guy got pissed because he accidentally hit him, and then the guy walked off set. And so it clips and there's a new scene with a new guy. So if you've not seen the movie, so this just basically is more of that movie.
I didn't realize that movie was in 2009.
Yeah. They did another one with the same type of character, but it takes place in like the West, and Michael Jai White's in it.
Huh.
But this is definitely, I think there's really good episodes. There are some really, really crazy far out things that happen. Like there's one where he fights Nixon in hand-to-hand combat. There's one where they're in Florida or something, and everyone's screaming shark. So Dynamite goes out there and kicks the crap out of the shark. It's a weird show. I don't think it's an A. I definitely would say like a lower C.
Okay.
It's a good show. It's definitely along the lines of like of the movie. But if you've never seen the movie, it'd be hard because you're like, I don't understand what this is. So I would say like a C is where I would put it. It's definitely higher than some of those other ones. I would put it next, yeah, it's next to Squidbillies. But it is a good show.
Cool.
Sorry, I probably went way too far on that.
No, you're fine. I was looking up Black Dynamite and I found the other show you're talking about, the movie. It came out last year.
Yeah.
Outlaw Johnny Black.
Same type of film. Also, if anyone here has never seen the Black Dynamite movie, you need to go watch it. It's so good. And Michael Jai White is awesome. I mean, if you want to watch movies where he gets to beat up on people, there you go.
All right, the next one we have is 12 Ounce Mouse. Do we agree that it goes in F tier? As in, like, unless you're high, you'll love it, or like you'll hate it. Yeah. I mean,
I think it definitely goes there. It's just, it was one of those things where the idea was there. It just wasn't very good at all. And this is just before anyone gives us hate. This is our personal thoughts. This is not like real. These are what we think these should be ranked at. So.
And with that, we have next is the Venture Brothers. I don't like the Venture Brothers.
What?
I think this show is super boring. I like everything about it, but I can't sit down and watch an episode because I think it is just really, really boring.
You don't like Dr. Girlfriend or The Monarch?
No, I think they're hilarious. I just think the whole show is just too boring for me to care.
I think here's the thing. If you start from the beginning seasons, now I've not watched, there's been new seasons I didn't know.
There's a movie.
Yeah. And so I've not watched any of those. Basically what it makes fun of is like Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is.
There's an
I
episode where they hang out with the Johnny Quest kids, if I recall.
Yeah, there's also an episode of Harvey Birdman where he
Yeah.
does stuff there. I think it's an okay show. I like it. I don't own any of it. I don't go out to watch it. I get this. It's not on, I don't even know if it's on Max anymore, but it was. All the seasons were on my queue to watch, and I never watched it. I think it's a C because there are some really, really good episodes. I wouldn't put it as a high C. I'd put it as a, I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts? Because you said it was boring, but I still think it's good. I don't think it
Um.
I don't think it's better than Black Dynamite though, but that's just me.
Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with it being a C because yeah, I think that has a lot of good and interesting stuff in it. I really think the character designs are really good. I think the acting is really good. I just don't know what it is. I just want to fall asleep every time I watch this show. Like that is the honest truth. I have tried to watch this show multiple times. I know that people say it's amazing. I just can't get through it.
I haven't watched all of it in a long time. I'd have to start from the beginning
Especially
again.
the beginning seasons are not like entertaining.
Yeah, once you get past the first season though, it's actually not bad.
Yeah. But like I like all the characters. I like Dean and the other kid. I forget his name. I don't know. I like Brock Sampson. He's really cool.
I do like Brock Sampson.
Dr. Venture is funny. There's so many funny characters in it, but like they just don't do enough for me, I guess. I don't know. Like it's just the show's
Yeah,
boring.
yeah, I get it. I get it.
All right. Let's go for controversial opinions now. The Brack Show. I think the Brack Show deserves to be in the highest C possible.
I'll agree with you there. It's funny, but it's stupid humor. It's definitely stupid humor.
I love his dad. His dad is hilarious in this show. He's just clearly Ricky Ricardo.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I like Thundercleats. Uh, it's funny, but it's not like. I mean, I like Zorak in it. That's who I love. Zorak's hilarious. But like Brack himself and his little songs he's singing is a little weird.
Yeah.
But that's what you're getting. You're getting 15 minutes of just that.
Yeah. I've actually been collecting and watching this. And so we're on season 2, I believe. Season 1 I thought was actually really funny, like overall. Season 2, you get to it, and I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. But like season 1 was pretty funny, for sure. Like I really do enjoy the dad character. He's just really tiny for no reason, and
Yeah.
it's not like he's like short or anything. He's just like tiny. Like he looks like a doll or something. And he's always reading his newspaper. He's always on his chair. And like even when he has to be like in other locations, he always is on his chair.
Yeah.
Like they somehow just like wheel him on his chair.
Yeah. I like I said, I think it's funny. I think it's like really early in Adult Swim where they're like, we got to get some stuff. And he was a regular on Space Ghost. So they're like, why don't we just do a show with Brack?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I think the placement is right on
It
that
was supposed to be Leave It to Beaver. Because I think the
Yeah.
original pilot was Leave It to Brack, and then they just called it the Brack Show after that. So but yeah, no, it's a fun show. It's really stupid, but Brack
Yeah.
is a fun character. The next one we got here is Frisky Dingo. I don't like this show. I think it's fine.
Either.
Like I honestly, I don't think it necessarily deserves to be an F. Like I think it deserves to be in like the lowest D possible. Because of this though, we got like stuff like Archer. So like it's the same
Yeah.
people. So
I think you're right on the D. I didn't care for it. I tried watching a couple episodes. I'm like, I'm just not really into it.
yeah.
And like here's what's crazy. So I had a DVR at this time. This is how long ago it was. I would record it and I would watch it, but I would be doing other things.
Yeah.
As for some of these shows, I would actually physically sit and watch.
Yeah.
So
Well, we put this in S last. No, we didn't. We didn't put this in S last time. Are you wanting this in S? Is that what you wanted? Space
No,
Ghost? Okay.
I think it should be high because this is what started Adult Swim.
Put in our only A so far.
I agree with it.
Okay.
Nothing's funnier than watching Space Ghost interview famous people from a screen.
That's true. Yeah. All right. I don't really have much else to say about Space Ghost because we've talked about Space Ghost before on the Cartoon Network one. So the next one we got here is the Boondocks. I don't think it's S. And the reason why I don't think it's S is because I think the later seasons, when they had the break, aren't as strong as the initial season. I think this deserves to be an A.
Yeah, I think it's definitely A. Some great episodes. Samuel Jackson was in several.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Murphy, tons of like famous people. Cat Williams,
yeah.
Johnny Witherspoon. I love some of the Stinkmeaner shows episodes. There was also like Michael J. White was in them.
Yeah,
a couple.
Yeah, he was.
I think you're right on putting it where you put it. I think the show's great. I don't think it's S tier. I have one on here that I feel is S, and we'll go from there. It probably won't shock you which one it is, but I definitely think it's an A. It's a good show.
I think it's better than Space Ghost. I guess I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
I'm fine with that. Okay. I kind of was upset when it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And Regina King did both voices of the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
So that's hard to act in two different kids to make them different.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, the writer and stuff is into martial arts because there was tons of that.
Tons of movie references, and yeah.
Yep. Love it.
All right. What's this actor's name? I can't think of his name.
I don't know, but it's Chris North. Is that right?
No.
What's his
Chris
name?
something. Chris.
I have to look it up now.
Chris no.
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott. I think Chris Elliott's hilarious. I think Chris Elliott can do no wrong. This show sucks.
Yeah. It's so funny story. His first movie that he did by himself is quoted to be one of the worst movies ever made. And it was a bombshell in the box office, and they spent crap.
For audio listening, I guess video watchers as well. We're talking about Eagle Heart.
Yes.
It's just not a good show. I remember Chris Elliott from Groundhog Day. He was in that movie. Yeah. He was the camera guy. All right.
I know it's next, so I'm just debating what we're gonna. I want to see where you're gonna put it.
I love Home Movies. Home Movies is the next one. John Benjamin is hilarious. Brendan Smalls, hilarious. The show is great. John Benjamin plays Coach McGurk, and he plays Jason. And so like him playing like a little kid, like a little stuffed up nosed kid, is hilarious. This show is very pure, but at the same time it's not, because you have Coach McGurk. I just love the little talks that he has with like his soccer team or whatever, where he's just like talking to Brendan when like everyone's playing soccer, and he's like, "Hey Brendan, check this out. Look at this thing." And he has like a tattoo of Chiquita Banana or something like that. And it's just like, "Why you have that, coach? Don't get drunk," or something like that. He just like has like weird conversations with them.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good. My question is are you going to put it in the S tier?
I don't
Or you
think
put
it
it in
deserves to be
A?
an S tier.
I think it's definitely an A,
Yes, I agree. Um,
which is crazy because I didn't really care for the animation, but the
Squiggle
comedy
Vision,
and stuff. Yeah,
like
I don't really care
Dr.
for it.
Katz.
That's not my favorite type of animation, but I do like the show.
Season
So
1 was very squiggle. The rest of the seasons weren't, if I
yeah,
recall. I think it's better than Space Ghost. I'm gonna say that.
yeah. I don't. It's kind of hard. I like both shows, so I'll let you have that one because I definitely, yeah, I would say that, but I don't think it's better than Boondocks.
I agree. That's why I put it in the middle. All right. Now I'm curious which one you want to put at the top, huh? All right. Next one's Metalocalypse. This is another Brendan Smalls show.
It's okay. I think it's hilarious because it's like literally like they're stupid. Like they are not very bright. And Rockstar the Clown is awesome.
Yeah. And they had Guitar Hero music
Yeah.
in Guitar Hero 2 or 3. I forget which one.
I definitely think it's a C. I don't think it's like really great. Unless you're thinking it's lower than C.
No, I think it's probably better than Venture Bros.
Hmm?
I think it like should be between Black Dynamite and Venture Brothers. Unless you think it should be less.
No, I agree. I think it should definitely be between the two of them.
Like I don't vibe with this show, but I can see why it's good. Like, and I've seen
Yeah.
enough of it to like understand that like, yeah, this is why people like it. Like I had a friend who loved it because he liked that type of music, and so he understood that like it's making fun of that whole scene. It's making fun of the band, the fans, everything. So, um, next one we have is Rick and Morty. I don't
I w-
know.
I was gonna say I, now here's the thing. I've not watched all of the seasons. I've watched probably the first couple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love it. I think it's great. I don't think it's definitely not for me personally. It's not an S tier. I think it's like an A or a high B. And I know people are going to be upset, but I think it's great. But like I said, it's hard for me to say because I've not watched the last couple seasons.
So I've watched everything except like the last season, I want to say. Um it's Rick and Morty's fun. The first 3 seasons I'd say were excellent. After that it kind of went downhill. It just became weirder and just not as good. And also the last season I want to say is when Justin Roiland no longer is affiliated with them at all, and so now he's
Mhm.
not Rick or Morty. And so we have 2 new voice actors who are trying to do it, and they're fine. They're competent. I just think that the show is already kind of falling off, like falling downhill. Um, and so the voices changing was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Um, but with that said, I really do enjoy the first few seasons up until that point. Um, but yeah, there definitely is a decline in it, and it's not. I'm not trying to say Justin Roiland made the show. I mean, he did to a degree, but um, like he wasn't a writer, and I don't think
Right.
like him not being here now. I don't think that the reason the show is like, oh, he's not Rick or Morty. I think it's just that they did so much in those first few seasons that it's like where you go from here.
Yeah.
And so I think it is probably above Check It Out in
Yeah.
high B.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. Um, I have my memorable episodes I love. Like obviously Pickle Rick, one of my favorite episodes. But yeah, I see where you're coming from on that. Totally.
All right, next one's Super Jail. Is this going F?
Yeah, I used to watch it, but I watched it because I was like, now I gotta see what happens. A bunch of crazy, trippy.
Willy Wonka in a jail.
Yeah, basically that's what it is.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm kind of worried about the next one. What your thoughts are?
Next one's Aqua Teen Hunger Force. The
I
show,
want to say,
huh?
go ahead. I was gonna say A all day long, and I haven't watched the new seasons. I haven't watched the last 3 or 4 seasons.
Neither have I. I think the show can be hilarious, but I also think that there's a lot of bad episodes.
Yeah,
Um, but the characters are so memorable. The movie's funny. The first movie, at least.
oh, it's hilarious.
I'll give you the A.
It doesn't have to be a high A. I just think it needs to be. It could be low. I don't know if it's. I definitely don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think it's above Boondocks or Home Movies. I was watching. So this is what it used to be. It used to be Space Ghost, and then Aqua Teen, and then a couple other ones. Uh, Poor Carl Bronowski has literally in every season that I've seen so far has nothing has changed for the poor guy.
His
You
car,
got
his
great.
cars are always destroyed.
Yep.
His pool.
Yep. I think the best parts are the characters. There's the Moonanites. They're,
I
they're
love
just
the Moonanites.
just
We
the
are
fact
the
you're thinking of them.
Moonanites.
I love it when he was flipping them off and he's like, I'm doing this as hard as I can. Like, it's just great comedy, humor. Carl's hilarious. Carl's the one you kind of relate with because you're like, okay, so you know someone, you know a Carl. Everyone knows a Carl. But I love that show. I haven't watched the newest movie, but I did start watching some of the episodes, and I still laugh at some of those episodes, the earlier seasons. But I don't know. I don't know what the later seasons bring. So
Okay, so this next one, I have no idea what it is. Laser Wolf.
I think it's just putting it F. It's like a weird. It's like when they're in their weird like show phase of like, hey, we're gonna do this. I don't think it's funny at all.
2019. Okay.
I just don't think it's funny. I think it's pretty stupid.
All right. Next one is Loiter Squad. I also
I'll
don't
let
think
you in.
I don't think it's funny.
I think it's weird. Now it's crazy. The one of the guys in there was in the newest Jackass movie.
Mhm.
I don't think he knew what he was signing up for. I want to say it's one of the characters from the show. And the newest Jackass movie, Johnny Knoxville goes, we're doing some stuff, but the crazy stuff we're letting the new guys do. And so this guy got, I think a couple of times, I think he got knocked out or hurt really bad. But yeah, I just don't understand this movie very much. So
Yeah. I love it how people might have heard that. You didn't though. People will. I accidentally did. I was typing in my find section and then the windows happened. All right. So wait. So where were we putting this? F.
oh yeah.
Okay. Mary Shelley's Frankenhole.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny too. Was this stop motion ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like it was like more oral type stuff. Yeah.
I think it's the same people that did Moral Oral. I
That
think
makes
it's the same
sense.
people. But it was funnier than Moral Oral.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I remember, yeah, I think it was better than Moral. Yeah, let's just put it above Moral Oral, just right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a Frankenstein-ish type
Parody
thing.
type thing, yeah.
It's pretty funny, I thought.
Mike Tyson Mysteries.
I loved. Okay, so first off, when you have Mike Tyson on a show, I don't know what script he was reading, but he was hilarious. But then Pigeon, do you remember who voiced Pigeon?
Yep.
Norm Macdonald. The stuff that he said was totally unscripted. He just said what he wanted. I think this show is a very good B. It's like it's made to be like Scooby Doo, but there's times where Mike punches people, and they're like, though there's a devil one where he beats the crap out of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
That episode is like too funny because the devil's like calls him like this weird mortal, and Mike Tyson's like, "Oh yeah," and he beats the crap out of him, and he's like, "What just happened?" Great show. I love that. It only got a couple seasons, um, but it was funny.
Yeah. All right, let me get my. Hang on. This is all Aaron. Mm-mm-mm.
They all should be Adult Swim shows, but they may not have originally aired
That's
there.
why I
Like,
was double checking. I thought this was UPN. I guess it's Warner Brothers. Okay. Mission Hill. I love Mission Hill. Mission Hill is an S for me. Mission Hill is only 13 episodes long. It is by Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein. It is old Simpsons people. It's Castle Rock Entertainment and all of them. So like it's like Simpsons critic, that kind of stuff. It's very ska. Um, it's an animated comedy about like a burnt out cartoonist who lives in the big city, and then his brother has to live with him, and his brother is voiced by Scott Menville, who is Robin from Teen Titans. And so he just like has like a really annoying like nerdy voice. He's like um what was his name? Like that kid's name was like Kevin or whatever. Yeah, Andy and Kevin. And so he'd be like, "Greetings, Andy. How are you doing?" And just sounds like a really like nerdy kid. He had to like every time he touched something, he'd be like bling blong. And just weird hilarity ensues just because of like either it's kind of like one of those like it's a family show from that end where it's like these two brothers who hate each other have to get along, but like one of them is like, "I'm gonna tell mom on you" or something like that. But then they also just live in like the city, which I don't know which city it is. It seems like a New York type thing or Chicago. Yeah. And so like this younger kid also just has to like deal with living in a big city and not understanding like norms of that, and like just getting into trouble because of like people robbing him or God, there's one joke that I can't even say on this thing, but like there is Tom Kenny plays like a creepy guy who like just runs up to Kevin and just like whispers like profanity to him and just keeps like saying it over and over again to him and then like calls him up on the phone, just keeps saying it. But it's not that long. Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein actually like this has such a huge cult following that they've actually been showing this in 4K in like certain like theaters, like where you can do like wow. Q&As and stuff like that too. Yeah, but the DVDs don't have the original music because they just didn't have the rights. So it's one of those things where if you want to watch the original intended show, you just have to watch it on YouTube. But enough of that. I think it's an S. I don't know if you have any touchstones to this and what you would agree with.
I never got into it. I'm gonna let you have it as an S because I have an S still on here. So I'll let you have it. I personally never really got into it. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Hold up. Oh, the next one's a Is it a sequel?
It's like a spin-off show because that's the same sheriff. It's in the same town. It's there's shorter episodes. You could probably put it with the same because I don't know if you watched it, but it literally is just like sheriff stuff.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Next one is C Lab 2021.
I didn't really like it. I'll be honest. I didn't like it. I knew it was old cartoon shows that they just voiced
Yeah.
new voices
Yeah, it's one of
and
the
stuff.
first abridged shows essentially.
Yeah. I didn't like it. I'm really wanting to try and watch it again now that I'm older. Maybe I just
Same.
didn't get the jokes or something. I don't think it's awful. I would say like a C. I don't know what your thoughts were, but
It's kind of where I'm
I
at.
yeah, I don't think it's awful. I just
Yeah. I recently bought them all on DVD. I've been buying a lot of Adult Swim stuff just because of Max just taking away everything. And so I can find these for very cheap. So yeah, I have it on DVD now, so I'll probably watch it at some point and I don't know, just see how I actually enjoy it. But from what I've seen, I think it's okay. Um, but who knows? Um, I don't know this next one at all. Do you?
um it's pretty bad. It's like a D. So basically it's another one of those live action ones. And here's what's crazy is like it took forever to get to the ending. And then when the ending came, you're like, what did I just spend my time watching? They're only like 15 minutes long. I guess you could put it as an F. It wasn't that good. I'll
Okay.
be honest. It wasn't that great.
Okay. Next one we have is Robot Chicken.
You're giving that look already. I think this is an A. Okay. I loved the show. The ones with the Star Wars were great. Um, you know,
Yes, Star Wars and DC heroes were awesome and great. Um, but a lot of the others weren't good, and I'm not 12 anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much
yeah,
just like, oh, let's cut and change the channel. It's just a robot humping a washing machine. Like, there's just stupid stuff like that. Um,
yeah, that went all the way through all the seasons, by the way. At
yeah,
least
I know.
one
And
episode
like,
he was
I would agree that it's better than Rick and Morty, but I don't think it's an A tier show just because of how many misses there are with their hits. Like
yeah,
if we had separately, if we had Robot Chicken Star Wars here, that would go in S. If we had um if we had the DC specials, that would go in S. But because we have all this other just not poorly made, but just there's just too much extra stuff here, I think that this should be in B.
I'll give you that. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you putting it above Rick and Morty?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like I think it's a low A, high B, but I think it's more of a high B than a low A.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Solve the Mole Man. Is this was this?
So, funny story. I was trying to remember the show from 2007.
Yeah.
Great cast. So I
Great
watched it.
effects, honestly.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It had its funny parts. I don't think it's an S. I don't think it's an A, but I definitely think it's a B. And the reason is because it's like it literally was like the shows in the 70s where they would go to space or like land. What is it?
Land of Lost.
Yes, like those. And it
Yeah.
was literally making fun of those. I mean, it really was. Um, Dana Snyder's in it. I loved
Mm-hmm.
it. I've watched a couple episodes. I'm like, man, this is really bad. But it's so the episodes are only like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, which by the way, the only way to watch this now is actually, believe it or not, if you go to the Adult Swim site, all the episodes are there
Huh.
of this. Not everything is there, but the only bad thing is you have a commercial for like 5 minutes for every single episode. And I watched like 4 episodes. It was the same Call of Duty episode or same Call of Duty commercial
Mm-hmm.
with their partnership with Little Caesars for every single episode.
Wow.
I was quite annoyed, but I think it's good.
Okay. Now I'm curious what your opinion of Stroker and Hoop is.
I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. Um,
I
it's like
think
a
it's
buddy comedy.
yeah. I think this show is stupid and fun. This is Starsky and Hutch with Kit.
Yes.
And like I think it show's fun. I don't think it's a B. I think it's a C for
Oh
sure.
no, I agree.
Um
I think it's a high C because it does have some pretty good jokes in there.
let's put
I don't
it
think it's
there.
I don't think it's funnier than Squidbillies, but
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
I'll give that.
That's where I put it. Drinky Crow Show. I don't like the show, but also I will say the cell shading and the CG of it looks really, really cool for that era.
I didn't like it either. I added it and I was like, what is this show? And I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, we're almost done.
I know, but there's a couple here. There's one specifically that's coming up next. I have to really go back and watch it. Only because of what you said earlier.
Is it this one here? Eric Andre show?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Eric Andre show is our next one. I love Hannibal. Hannibal Buress is in this as like the side helper comedian to a talk show. Eric Andre is just a crazy talk show host. This show gives the vibe if someone has their own PBS slot and they use it to have a talk show. So that's just how this is. Like it's very weird like that. But then it's also like surreal humor and stuff as well. So like something explodes or I don't know, there's like on the street stuff sometimes as well. Yeah, like there's so many good gifts and stuff from this as well. Like the let me in or whatever is one of those. Eric Andre is hilarious just on his own. But I think this is probably the highest of C's.
I'll agree. There was a thing that used to go around on TikTok where Hannibal was talking about because he just got made fun of by Eric. Eric kept yelling at him, like, what do you think now? I can't say the exact one. I'll say it off camera when we're turned off because there's language in there. And it's the funniest thing I think if anyone's ever said to anyone.
Yeah. Or I always use the GIF. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah. Oh, this next one is a train wreck.
Yeah, the Heart She Holler. This is another one of those awful daytime soap opera shows, except like this one gets really creepy.
It does. It just goes a whole I don't even know what to say. I didn't like it.
Is this your S? Mighty Boosh?
No, it's an A. And I will say this did not premiere on Adult Swim, but here's the thing about it. It is a great show. It's got 3 seasons total. It is such a good show. And it has like this weird, there's the mysterious of the spooky element mixed with like the first 2 seasons are in a zoo. I want to say the first 2 seasons in a zoo and then the others in a magic shop. But it's just such a really well written show with music. There's like they make their own music for the show. I kind of compare it to Tim and Eric, you know how they would write their own music, but it's actually like really, really good music. They actually, I watched the Great British Baking Show. Noel, that was in this show, is on that show. My wife was like, I don't get where he's come from. I go, dude, this guy's been in the Mighty Boosh and tons of stuff. He's great. I think it's a A. I have been telling you for how many years now to watch this?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. Not as an adult, I guess, or like not in recent years, I guess I should say. But I've definitely seen this before. This is old Greg. There's so much stuff in this. It's just weird. Like it's weird British humor, and like sometimes that hits and sometimes it doesn't.
No, I totally agree. I think it's great. There's a couple episodes where I don't like. There's a couple that I won't watch. But then there's like those really, really, really great, like the Crack Fox one is hilarious. Every time I see that episode, I laugh. Is it for children? Absolutely not. My kids would be terrified of the Crack Fox. There's several episodes they'd be terrified of, but it's still good.
Yeah. next one we got here is Oblongs. I like this show. I think this is another UPN show.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell is the main
Okay.
character. And I think Bobby Hill's the son.
Yeah.
But premise is like there's two cities. There's one city that's super rich, and there's one that's like built on where the sewage and chemicals come from the rich city. And so you clearly have just like two different types of people. And like the people who are born and like live in the other city, like have weird like genetic deformities and like other things like that. Like Will Ferrell is just like a stump essentially. Like he has no legs or arms. He just hops around. Like that's what he does. The wife has like huge like Marge Simpson hair, but she doesn't have hair. It's all wig. Like the main kid just has one big old hair on top of him, and then like he has like one eye that's just like always closed. Or like the other brothers, they're twins. They're conjoined twins.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's a fine show. Like I don't think it's anything great. But I think it is better quality than most of the C things in the C section. Just because it is, I don't know. It was just built. It was made in a time to where like I think they really cared about story and animation. It's just a shame though that it only got so many seasons. Like I think it only got like one season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. So I think right next to the one there, I think I would be fine with that.
Okay. Tim and Eric, awesome show. Great job.
All day long. And here's the reason why. When you have a song called "I'ma Sit on You," and like they would get these people and their names would be close to they would have names that are close to people they kind of look like. It's just hilarious.
Where in A do you want that?
Where you have it's fine. I don't think it's better than Aqua Teen. They had several seasons. They had several spin-offs of stuff, which before you guys asked the Dreams one, there was one that Tim and Eric did. It's called Tim and Eric something Dreams, or it's like it's supposed to be a horror themed one. I didn't add that because they only showed it on Adult Swim once, but it was really an online thing. Like originally you watched it online. So I didn't add that, but I think the show's great. I still watch it once a year. Well, I haven't watched it this year because I don't know where I could stream it. I don't know if it's still on Max or not, but it's still funny. It's got its funny. Zach Galifianakis makes a appearance on a lot of shows.
Yeah.
He's pretty funny. But they got these like random people that were actors that weren't getting jobs and they put them on the show. There's that comedian guy. What's the comedian guy that's on there and his jokes are awful? I can't think of his name.
Oh, I forget. I know who you're talking about.
But this guy, like, he does jokes and they're not good jokes. But yeah, I think it's still a pretty good show.
Yeah, here I'm looking it up really quick. Let's see who else is on here. Oh yeah, Tommy Wiseau was on that too.
Yeah.
Wow. Will Forte. John C. Reilly is in there again. Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum's in I think more than one episode.
Weird Al.
Weird Al was the host of the Uncle Muscle show. God, why do I know all this stuff?
Saul Goodman was in this. Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, Andy Samberg, Jonah Hill, Ben Stiller, Paul Rudd, Ted Danson, Josh Groban. Wow, there's so many people.
I know, like that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
two friends, and they were. What I've read was Tim and Eric were friends in college, and they wanted to do a weird show, and they pitched it. And everyone was like, "No," and Adult Swim's like, "We'll do it. We'll do one season. We'll see what's up," and it just blew up. Um, it's sad they don't do anything anymore together. Um, I would love to see like them to come back and do a live show or whatever. They did a couple of years ago. They were doing live shows of the
Mm.
Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job. And they had so these guys like the puppet guy that would do the singing with the puppets. They brought brought him. They brought all these characters from the shows, but they're not real characters. They're like real people.
Yeah,
It was too funny. I didn't go because the tickets were stupid expensive.
of course they were. Yeah. All right, the next one we got here, I had to look up again. Like I thought I knew what it was, and I was right. Um, it is Titan Maximum. This is a stop motion animation show that is like Voltron and like Thunderbirds or like Team America. And I don't think it's good.
I think it's total trash. I think Seth Green did this show and I watched it and I'm like, I don't think this is very good. And obviously he had a huge budget. He was living off high off of Robot Chicken and the Star Wars episodes and stuff. It's just not good. It's really, really not good. It's just awful. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely an F. Definitely an F.
Yeah. Next one is Tom Goes to the Mayor.
You're gonna hate me, but I want to say B.
I think it's fine.
Oh, so good. So like I think this show's funny
Yeah.
and it's a weird art style. It's like a stop shot animation but drawn and it's a weird color.
Yeah. It's like very like black and white ish and blue, if I recall. Yeah, I enjoy this show. I actually enjoy this show more than Tim and Eric. To be
I can see
honest.
that.
But if we're gonna put it somewhere above Saul.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Xavier Renegade Angel. That's an F tier.
Oh my god, it's such an F tier. That show is trash. Okay, and I hate saying it, but I feel like at this point, Adult Swim's like, we'll do anything. I didn't get the show. I didn't understand who he was. It was like done in older animation from a computer, like an old computer game. And it just didn't, none of it was funny. None of it was good at all.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Is this your S tier?
yes. Now let me explain. So the next one he's talking about is called Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. It is so funny. It's about Gary who dies and goes to hell, becomes a demon. So it's like hell has cubicles and they work for Satan and they have to do these things and Gary just can't seem to get it together. The funny thing is Gary thinks he shouldn't be there. There's so many funny episodes. They had 3 or 4 seasons. I can't remember. I literally love this show. I was trying to find a physical copy of it. It's so funny. Like there was one where Satan had Gary do these training tapes. Every single tape of like these trainings, he would sing a song straight out of like Hades or hell or whatever. Everything
Mm.
was this. It was the funniest thing. And then there's always a twist. There's always a twist of like why Satan has him do these things. It's too funny. There's some really funny characters in there. Um, I think it's an S tier. I don't think you could definitely put it after Mission Hill. It's not everybody. It does have a lot of religious elements. The episode where he goes to heaven because they said they screwed up is hilarious. Um, but yeah, I definitely think that's my S tier.
Okay.
And that was a hard one because Mighty Boosh is my other favorite, but I had to put it up there. So
All right. We have one more. Um,
I kind of know where you're gonna put this.
I mean, listen. When you have perfection it needs to go in S tier. We have King of the Hill. I think King of the Hill is one of the smartest shows ever written.
I'll give you that.
I think it's better than Mission Hill.
Yeah. Until it was on Adult Swim, I will tell you this. I never had watched the show. I never watched it on Fox. But then when it was on there, I started watching it. I'm like, this show's pretty good. So
yeah, I used to watch it on FX. That's where I used to watch it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a great show. I think it's well written. You know, I love watching it with the subtitles on, so I can try to figure out what Boomhauer says.
Yeah, and then there's the reboot, the sequel series comes out next year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be on Hulu.
Another. I love these shows that are coming back. I had a long talk with a good friend of mine that's into movies and TV shows, and he's like, they're just running out of ideas. I said, but they're making things better. Like coming back with Futurama, which I've not seen it, but I think it's still great. I said, God, look how long Simpsons has been on the air.
This new season of The Simpsons is pretty good. That season premiere was amazing. These other 2 episodes have been okay, but like they've been better than most Simpsons for the past 15 years.
I think it's getting very close to being the longest running show. You know what the longest running show is? SVU, I think. Law and Order SVU is stupid up there. But the shows, I mean, I love King of the Hill. I think it's such a great show. I used to, even though I know when Adult Swim would start, I was a lot younger when I started really watching Adult Swim when it really blew up. And even though I've already probably seen half the episodes, I would still watch King of the Hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just well written, great show.
Definitely. I'm looking here because now you said something. General Hospital is the longest show.
That show's still on the air.
Then Guiding Light.
Those are like soap operas.
Yeah, which I mean makes sense, but like originally was a 1937 American radio show, and then then 1952 it ran for 57 seasons. Then Days of Our Lives 57 seasons. As the World Turns 54, Sesame Street 53, Young and Restless 50, SNL. Yeah, there's so much stuff here.
Yeah, I didn't know
doesn't count though.
Yeah, I had no idea that Law and Order SVU had been on for so many seasons, and I was like, oh man, this has been on for this many seasons. But like Simpsons is there. Simpsons was 34. I remember first seeing, because we weren't allowed to watch the Tracy Ullman show, and so like I never got to see it. But when it came to Fox as a regular show, and I got to see Bart say, "Hey, I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?" I had Bart Simpson shirts.
Yeah.
You know, I had a Homer shirt. Like that was the thing, you know? And so with this one here, I think it brought more of that adult animation back, out. Simpsons and Family Guy and stuff, but King of the Hill is very good. I don't know, wasn't Lou Ann's character done by what's her name? Brittany Murphy?
Yep.
I don't know how they'll do her character.
Same thing. So her and her husband in that show are both passed away, like the actors are. And then Dale's actor died fairly recently as well, after it was confirmed that they were doing a reboot. But supposedly he recorded some things. So there might be some episodes with him, and then they might just have to kill him off, unfortunately, because he's one of the greatest characters.
I always felt bad for Dale because his wife was always cheating on him with I can't think of the guy.
John Redcorn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like John Redcorn was like always asking Dale for help with stuff. And he's like, of course I'll help you. We're friends. And it's like everyone in town knows that she's having an affair with him. Poor Dale doesn't.
Or does he?
Maybe he just doesn't care.
Yeah. That's another thing as well. Like they kind of hint that like he might actually know and he's not that stupid. But
I feel like Hank's always getting him out of trouble, so I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our list here. I guess I'll read it off here before we go. Start from the top here. So we got S tier, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, Futurama, King of the Hill, Mission Hill, 2 hills. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. A tier, Boondocks, Home Movies, Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. The Mighty Boosh, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. B tier, we have Robot Chicken, Rick and Morty, Tom Goes the Mayor, Saul the Mole Men, Mike Tyson Mysteries. Check it out. Steve Blur, I can't say his name. China, Illinois. C tier, Eric Andre Show, Oblongs, Brack Show, Squidbillies, Stroker and Hoop, Black Dynamite, Metalocalypse, The Venture Brothers, not General Hospital, Children's Hospital, Mary Shelley's Frankenhole, Moral Oral, C Lab 2021, D tier, Mr. Pickles, Mama Name Me Sheriff, Black Jesus, Delocated, Dark Place, and Frisky Dingo. And F tier is just a lot of things I don't want to read off because I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good list. I think we did a very good job.
Yeah. If you like these lists, if you like these shows, we have more lists. We have Cartoon Network lists. We have lists for random things. If you just try to search for those episodes, like we did one a long time ago about Batman movies, right? No, Ninja Turtle movies.
Oh yeah.
And Batman versus Ninja Turtles or whatever was in there. Yeah, we have a few of these rankings, so you can definitely find them out in different places, and there might be more in the future. Yeah, we'll definitely try to do something in the future for anime that was on Adult Swim. For that though, I might want to try to do it anime that was on Adult Swim before they put Toonami in Adult Swim. So like,
oh yeah,
like before the reboot of Toonami in like 2016 or whenever that re-happened again. So like back in the day when it was like, here is Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or whatever. These were only Adult Swim. These weren't even Toonami. Steins Gate, I think, might have been on there too. Just so many things were on just Adult Swim as anime back in the day. Fooly Cooly. But yeah, we can rank those at some other time. But yeah, it's been a fun time. I think so, at least. Hope you all enjoyed it. Again, this is the last episode before our break, so you're still gonna get episodes. They're just gonna be special episodes, so yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with that, I guess. Don't worry, there'll be fun things. So yeah, if anything important happens and you're like, why aren't you talking about this? Well, it's because we pre-recorded all these things and that news didn't break yet. I don't really have anything much else to say. Yeah, if you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us everywhere. Ben, do you have anything else to say to lovely people?
Just to get at it.
Get at it.